All right, man, peace. You know, brothers, it's abundantly obvious that Mr. Kyrie Irving, the superstar guard of the Boston Celtics, he understands what the ceiling is for his team. That ceiling being the NBA Finals and a pretty much inevitable matchup with the juggernaut of the NBA, that being the Golden State Warriors. So he's already trying to pump some confidence into his team by stating that he believes that they can beat Golden State. Now, whether or not that is true will not be found out until next June. But anyway, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Today at Celtics Media Day, we got our first look at what jump producers are calling the Shamrock Five of Irving, Brown, Tatum, Hayward, and Horford. Recently, Kyrie told our teammate Jackie McMullen, can we beat Golden State in a 7-game series? Yes. Very simple, I guess. Ryan, can they?
As of right now, no, I do not believe that they can beat Golden State. I don't think that they have enough. Now, they have great depth. They have great athleticism. They're very, very deep when it comes to their wings, that being their 2s, 3s, and even their 4s, their stretch 4s. They can switch defensively. I'm just not quite sure that when it comes time to participate in the finals and you have to go against Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, DeMarcus Cousins, Andre Iguodala, Klay Thompson, that a lot of their young role players who are trying to burgeon into being stars are going to be able to hang. We'll see. Kyrie is obviously going to have to be the alpha male. Now, if Boston is able to pull the trigger on an Anthony Davis trade, that might totally change the balance of power in the NBA. I've been postulating this possible trade for a very long time now. If they can package Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, and Al Horford, and a first-round draft pick for Anthony Davis, and maybe even Jrue Holiday, who knows? Maybe Danny Ainge can sweeten the pot and get them to include Jrue Holiday. But if they can make that trade, and of course a couple of first-round draft picks from Boston for Anthony Davis and maybe even Jrue Holiday, that might put them over the hump. We'll see. But as of right now, I don't think they have enough. To be quite frank with you, I think that it's going to be hell for them to get out of the East, because I think that Toronto is going to give them all that they can handle. Philadelphia is not ready yet. They're still too immature and they don't have enough shooting. But Golden State right now, barring some type of catastrophic injury to one of their top players, I just don't see anybody beating them.
Well, obviously he has to go yes on that one. But, well, LeBron just tempered expectations, so he could have done one of those dances. You know, the thing about Golden State is eventually, I feel like whoever beats them will kind of be themselves. I think it'll be either be their own boredom or any sort of thing where the guys start thinking about the next move. I think the Cousins...
You know what? That's pretty unfair to state that if Golden State were to lose, it's only going to be because they're going to get bored. And at times, that sentiment has even crossed my mind. But the fact of the matter is that when we look back at the history of the NBA, great teams tend to lose because they finally face a team that's better than them. And it could be because they're on the downslide while another team is on the upswing and they meet in the middle. And it's just about who wants it more. But sometimes it's just that you're not as good as you once were. Now, when we look at the Golden State Warriors, all of their top players are entering into their athletic prime, or right in the midst of it. From 28 to 32, 33, that is when many of these players in the NBA are in their athletic prime, and they're starting to come to a pinnacle, to a meeting point, to a nexus with their mental maturity in the game. And that occurs around the ages of 31, 32, 33. So as of right now, if Golden State were to lose to another team, it won't be because of boredom. It'll be because the team outplayed them. And over a 7-game series, if you lose a 7-game series, it's because you got outplayed. It's not because you were bored.
Signing actually was a really cool mental exercise of, even if it's not a great fit, it maybe re-energizes us. So on paper...
The DeMarcus Cousins signing was a great move for Golden State. Not just to re-energize the team, but also to provide them with a force that they've never had before on that team. They've always been known as a strictly perimeter team in the past. Now they actually have an alternative on the inside that they can throw the basketball to and get easy buckets.
I wouldn't pick the Celtics against the Warriors because I just am still so in love with this Golden State roster. But I don't think it's impossible to think that a Celtics team that, like, those are 5 really good players that can switch a bunch of stuff. And if
That's true. They have 5 really good players. Really 1 great player and 4 good players. The Golden State Warriors, they have 4 great players. For what they do, they have 4 great players. They have the best 3-and-D guy in the NBA in Klay Thompson. They have the best point guard, quote-unquote point guard in the NBA in Steph Curry. They have the best utility man in the NBA in Draymond Green. They arguably have the two best utility men in the NBA with Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala. They have the best pure scorer in the league in Kevin Durant. So the list just goes on and on and on and on. And they may have the best center coming off the bench in DeMarcus Cousins by the playoffs. Who knows what role he'll be playing. He might still be coming off the bench and just bring a little punch.
If Kyrie stays healthy, I'm not going to say it's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I don't know what Cousins is going to be. I have no idea what he's going to be in 3 months, much less 6 months,
right,
when the finals would come. So it's a hard question to answer, but I'll say this. That's a lot of talent.
It is a lot of talent. Once again, Boston needs to trade for Anthony Davis for me to take them seriously.
It's a lot of talent. You look at those two guys, especially on the left, Tatum and Brown, those are the types of guys you need to play against the Warriors. Kyrie, if he's 100% healthy, is as hard of a guy to deal with in the league. What I want to see is this, George. I want to see a competitive finals. And so I hope that if it's Celtics and Warriors, that it's competitive to 7 games, and then I'll be happy either way.
Yeah, I'm with you. And one guy not pictured there, Brad Stevens, who's had, I don't want to say his way, but...
Look, at the end of the day, it cannot be any less competitive than the finals were last year.
Warriors with a lot less talent.
Yeah, but let's not...
Regular season, I get it, but look. The blueprint. Remember how Mad J. Crowder got about that when Durant didn't come there?
That's very true. Brad Stevens and the Boston Celtics, they have had a lot of success over the last few seasons against the Golden State Warriors with not that much talent. Even when they had Isaiah Thomas there, they were very successful against them. As a matter of fact, I believe that they were able to defeat the Warriors in Golden State 2 of the last 3 seasons.
Look, I just think that he clearly is the best coach in the NBA right now. And I think...
I agree with you, but it's really not official as of yet. Oftentimes, people don't get their credit until a year after they should have gotten their credit. For example, Steph Curry should have been in the All-Star game in the 2013 season, but he did not get recognized until the next year. Brad Stevens right now, in my view, is the best coach in the NBA, but they're still going to laud and praise Greg Popovich, who still deserves recognition, but to me, he's still not quite where he used to be.
I think that it would be an interesting challenge just to see that.
He would be the best coach.
In my opinion, at least.
We don't have time in the show, but I think there's a lot of good coaches. Brad Stevens is one of them. I think Steve Kerr is a really good coach, too.
I don't look.
Steve Kerr is the best babysitter in the NBA. I'll say he's a good coach, but he's an even better babysitter because that's pretty much all he has to do at this point.
I think Brad's awesome, but to say, like, I always have this rule that when somebody does a comp and they go this guy and then it's not even close, right. Like, no, it usually always is very close. I'm not saying that's what you did there, George, but I think you still, I mean, Pop is still kind of the standard here. We'll have to see what things look like moving forward. So that's it.
Right now, he's still the standard, but I would take Brad Stevens. I think that he understands how to coach younger players better. But we'll see what happens this season. Peace.